Coming up on Valley News Live at 10, he's armed and dangerous. Police say they need your help finding this man. Protesters speak out against a mask mandate in Grand Forks, plus a look at the presidential candidate's final push before Election Day. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Police are urging you to be on the lookout for an armed and dangerous man in Fargo. Call 911 or text 847-411 if you see this man, 23-year-old Nathaniel Benton. Police have reason to believe he is armed and poses a threat to public safety. Yesterday at 2:30 in the morning, a man called police saying he thought he'd been shot. Medical personnel found bullet fragments in his head. The state's attorney's office has issued a warrant for Benton's arrest for the charge of attempted murder. Authorities say do not approach him if you see him. These are the videos many woke up to on social media yesterday morning, showing downtown bars packed with unmasked partygoers after 4 straight days of more than 1,100 daily COVID-19 cases. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney says he has since spoken to the owners of the bars involved, saying things like this won't happen again. He adds the city attorney's office is looking into consequences local businesses could face for violating Cass County's orange risk level rules.
There could be a fine involved. There could be a temporary shutdown of the business for a while. You just have to look at the different options we would have. And so we will research that and see.
Mayor Mahoney says the new rules could go into effect as early as the next commission meeting on November 16th. New at 10, authorities have identified the man killed in a single car crash near Detroit Lakes. 51-year-old Preston Scott Spence of Audubon was traveling on Highway 34 when his vehicle left the road and struck a tree. It happened before 7 this morning. More than 260,000 ballots have already been cast in North Dakota. More than 83,000 votes have been in person. Today was the last day to vote early and turn in absentee ballots to county drop boxes in North Dakota. In Minnesota, you have until tomorrow at 3 p.m. to get your ballot to the drop box. A reminder, you cannot drop ballots off at your polling place. To find your polling place, visit our website, valleynewslive.com, or the VNL News app and click on this story. Tomorrow is Election Day, and the presidential contenders are crisscrossing the nation to make their closing arguments to the voters. Natalie Brand is at the White House with a look at their final push.
On the eve of Election Day, President Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden are hitting the campaign trail in 5 crucial states.
Get out and vote.
The president makes the most campaign stops with 5 rallies.
With your vote, we will continue to cut your taxes, cut regulations, support our police, support our great military, protect our Second Amendment.
Biden kicked off the day with a last-minute stop in Cleveland, Ohio.
Tomorrow we have an opportunity to put an end to a presidency that's divided this nation.
The fight for Pennsylvania is dominating both campaigns' final hours ahead of Tuesday's election, with all 4 candidates fanning out across the Commonwealth.
Pennsylvania will determine who will be the next president of the United States.
The road to victory goes right through the Keystone State.
Biden surprised college students at the University of Pittsburgh with a visit from Lady Gaga, who is joining him as he campaigns in the Steel City this evening.
It's time for Donald Trump to pack his bags and go home. Go home.
Former President Barack Obama is pushing to get out last-minute voters in Atlanta, Georgia, and Miami, Florida, 2 states where the black vote could be key to a Biden victory.
Florida, you delivered for me twice. And now I'm asking you to deliver for all of us.
More than 96 million Americans have already cast early ballots, and a recent CBS News poll shows Biden has an edge with early voters, though the vast majority of the president's supporters are expected to come out on Election Day. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris will be joined by music star John Legend for a drive-in rally in Philadelphia tonight. Just like 4 years ago, President Trump's last campaign event the night before Election Day will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. President Trump vowed to continue punishing the Cuban government if he is reelected. The president citing, quote, the horrible way the Cuban government treats their people in an effort to sway the conservative Cuban-American community in Florida, a state that is key to his reelection. Former President Barack Obama reopened the American embassy in Havana and advocated for greater engagement with the communist-run government. Meanwhile, Trump has put into place some of the toughest sanctions on Cuba in decades. Gas prices are continuing to fall, and North Dakota's oil industry leaders say lowering crude prices could have long-term effect on the state's oil production. As COVID cases spike again around the world, investors aren't sure how people will react. Oil industry leaders say that uncertainty is pushing crude prices down. And while Bakken oil production is holding steady for now, there are some ominous signs. A year ago, the state had 57 active drilling rigs. Today, there are 14.
Companies will try to maintain their production, but it's going to be difficult as we move forward without the drilling rig. So it's a pretty big challenge. But right now our production is doing fine. But ultimately that lack of drilling rigs, that lack of new wells, that will create, a fall in North Dakota's oil production.
Ness says demand isn't an issue despite some countries putting strict lockdowns back in place. The Supreme Court has ruled in favor of Black Lives Matter protest organizer DeRay McKesson. A Louisiana police officer had sued to hold McKesson accountable for injuries the officer sustained in 2016 when he was hit by a heavy object. McKesson didn't throw the object. The person who did is still unidentified, but a lower court ruling allowed the lawsuit to move forward. The Supreme Court sent the case back to the lower courts to further review Louisiana law. The Vatican has clarified Pope Francis's comments on legalized civil unions. In the film Francesco, released 2 weeks ago, the Pope's comments appear to support same-sex civil unions. The Vatican says that 2 comments made by Pope Francis in the film were filmed at different times, spliced together, leading to confusion. The Vatican made clear the Pope is opposed to same-sex marriage. Still ahead tonight, farmers are still being subsidized, but say they wish it wasn't necessary. But first, how many days in a row can we get temperatures in the 60s? Hutch lets us know in his forecast next.